Hello everybody, it's been a while. I was gonna kind of get y'all an update on what's going on around here. It's been a rough couple of weeks for our family. I've had an emergency room trip, which I'll tell you about it. Our dog has had an emergency room trip. One of our dogs, our youngest one, Waylon. And then my wife, she's bedridden today. So it's been rough, but I'll start out by just kind of telling you what happened to me. So this past Saturday, a week ago, so this Saturday would have been a week that this went on. So it's been about a week and 5 days since I originally had to go to the emergency room. Started out, I was having just a regular old neck cramp. A neck cramp pain, you know. So I'm trying to feed my chickens. I was, you know, popping my neck and stuff. Well, as time went on, it got down into my right shoulder real bad. And I was kind of stove up and couldn't hardly move. And then it wrapped around and went to my underarm, up under my armpit. Under my shoulder blade and under armpit. And so I mean, I was just very uncomfortable. Like, oh, I done pulled a muscle, something, you know, I don't know what's going on. Well then, I decided to take a shower and lay down. It was still like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'll tell you, Friday, the Friday before that, back up, I went and bought 50 bales of square bales of hay, because our grass just hadn't really got up to where we like it for our cows yet. And so we got 50 square bales of hay Friday afternoon, and I unloaded them Friday evening. I felt fine. They weren't the real heavy bales, they were like the 40-50 pound bales. And I had my 12-year-old with me. But it didn't take us long to really unload them. Maybe an hour to, not quite an hour to, got a few eggs. Anyway, about an hour, I'll just say 45 minutes to load them on the trailer and get them over here, and then 45 minutes to an hour to unload them. Still felt fine. Saturday, Friday morning, our hog got butcher finished up with our hog, so my wife went and got it. And I come in from the hay bales and put all the hog meat in the freezer. Still fine. Saturday morning I woke up and decided we got that fresh, you know, I get a lot of hickory smoked sausage links with mine, because the butcher does really good, like better than store-bought, real good. And so I went ahead and got me some sausage out. Went and got some dry beans soaking, and I made red beans and rice, or sausage and rice, whatever you want to call it. Really good. Made jalapeno corn or Mexican cornbread. So we was ready to eat by 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon, and by then, you know, I was already going through that pain. But anyway, so we ate, I guess, a late lunch, you could call it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, 8 eggs. That's not bad for a day. Anyway, so we ate a late lunch, and like I said, my wife, she took some couch cushions to the laundromat to wash, and I took a shower and tried to lay down. Well then, like I said, my collarbone, my shoulder, my chest, my underarm, all that, it started hurting. Well then my center of my chest started hurting. Well, my mom, she died of a heart attack here about 2 years ago. Well, Mother's Day will be 2 or 3 years anyway. And she ignored a lot of symptoms that day. She ignored chest pain, shortness of breath. Just decided, you know, she didn't feel good. And by the time my aunt, her sister called the ambulance, she coded in the ambulance and that was it. She never came back, and she had been feeling terrible all day. So if she would have went to the hospital early that morning, you know, or any time during the day before she went, it might have been a different outcome. So that kind of spooked me. So I called my wife and said, hey Tammy, I think I'm having a heart attack, but I'm not sure. I'm having a lot of pressure in my chest. So she didn't want me driving. So my mother-in-law, she lives back down here in the woods. And she said, I'll call mom to come get you. And I'll meet you out at the hospital. So that's what we did. And they did EKG and pulled some blood, took a chest x-ray, everything come back good. So they said, yeah, you got a pinched nerve. Give me a shot, some anti-inflammatory shot, and called it good to go. And I went home and could not move. That was Saturday. Sunday, I couldn't move. Tammy and Asher got up and went to church. I stayed on the couch. I couldn't lay down flat. I had to lay in the recliner. I could move my right arm as long as that elbow was planted, like I could reach something from the coffee table or the end table or whatever. I could reach, but I couldn't. I didn't have the strength to pick it up. It hurt too bad. When I swallowed, my neck, my throat muscle hurt. When I took deep breaths, my lungs hurt. My collarbone felt like it was broke. So finally, about Tuesday, I'd had enough. So I went to my medical doctor, and I went in there and sit with him in the room, and he started poking and prodding and pushing on this and pushing on that, and he had decided, you know, hey, it's not a pinched nerve. And of all things, he said, I think it's a virus. I said, a virus? I've never heard of a virus. He said, yeah, there's viruses that can attack your muscles and cramp them or make them, you know, cramp or whatever. I said, huh. He said, I'm gonna start you on steroids and give me some anti-inflammatories, and he sent me a bunch of medicine. Well, that was Tuesday. Friday, I would say I was about 50-60%. I was a lot better. I could button my own pants. I could put my own shoes on. I could do pretty much almost. I couldn't lift my hand too high up to dry my, you know, when I was getting out of the shower or something. My wife still had to help dry me off. But anyway, this week, I'd say I'm about 95%. I'm still sore, but I got full range. It just hurts, you know, if I go too far back. Or yesterday, me and my son was building a mineral sled for our cows, and there was he needed me to push in on a 2x6 while he screwed it. And the way I had to pull, I didn't have the strength to do it. So I may end up having to go to the doctor said I may have to go to a physical therapist because those viruses can do damage to your muscles. But we'll just see. I'm not ready to go now. I'm gonna do my thing, keep going. Anyway, just quick. Okay, so then my dog Waylon, right there. Tell you his story right quick. During the same time I'm having all these issues, he's sitting over on the floor beside the couch chewing on his ear. We just got him from the groomer, and I thought maybe some hair was bothering him. He'd pulled the hair out. I felt bad because it took 2 or 3 days for me to realize he was having issues. He'd had an allergic reaction to something, and he got a hot spot on his neck. So I loaded him up. What's the day? Thursday. I loaded him up 2 days, Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, yeah. I loaded him up Tuesday, that's what it was. I loaded him up Tuesday, took him to the vet. They said, we need to shave his neck. He's in a lot of pain. We need to, and it was afternoon, like 3:30. We need to put him to sleep to shave his neck, but in order to do that, he's going to spend the night. I said, well, I don't want him to suffer like he has been the last day or two. I said, it just dawned on me, like wee hours of that morning, that he was having some kind of ear infection or something. I knew at that point, it finally dawned on me. He wasn't just aggravated because he kept flopping his ears, and that particular Monday night, early Tuesday morning, that's when he actually started whining. Like he'd whine during the night. So I knew he was having problems. So anyway, I took him to the vet. They kept him, shaved his neck, give him a steroid shot, and sent him back home with some ear drops and some antibiotics. And I got to give him Benadryl twice a day. Now, Tammy, last night I'd cooked pork chops and rice, and I guess we decided we wanted cookies, so she grabbed some Oreos, and we had Oreo and milk. Well, about midnight, she started having severe stomach pains. And hold on, this old truck's loud. Hold on. Anyway, so she started having severe pains, and we couldn't get her settled until probably about 8:39 this morning. We finally got her to go to sleep. Well, she woke up about 11, and we gave her some more medicine, and she went back to sleep. But from say like midnight to about 8 or 9, I bet she was up out of the bed. She never went to sleep. She was out of the bed, walking around the house, coming back, laying down. She probably did that no less than 40 times, so I didn't get no sleep either. But anyway, just kind of a little up to date on what's going on with us. And I'm fixing to ride down. I'm gonna kill the camera right quick, but I'm fixing to ride down and give y'all a shot of our new baby calf that we had Saturday night. And I'm gonna show y'all my future chicken tractor. Anyway, I'll be back. They're easing their way over here. I'll walk over and see them. That's Mama. And I kind of tell y'all about her too. That was a little exciting. This past Saturday, they decided, she decided to have her right during the middle of a severe thunderstorm, and right at dark. We named that baby Stormy. We've separated these from them just because they were kind of pushing up against the baby Saturday night and all that. And they weren't trying to hurt them, but it just didn't seem like they were really watching out for them. So we gave them some space. Hey, darling girl, how are you, girl? That's my girl. That's my girl. That's my girl, ain't Dolly? Anyway, maybe the baby is pretty curious. She usually come up to the fence. If I had my cow boots on, I'd walk over in there, but I got my Crocs on. I was just thinking I'd come over here and get a shot right quick of the baby. We named her Stormy. She was born right in the middle of a severe thunderstorm, and we missed the initial feeding, and we thought that she was laying down and wasn't eating. So I called my friend that owns the feed store, had him open up, and I rushed down there and got some of that baby milk. What's it called? Anyway. It's $50 for a little bitty bag of it. But they're supposed to have it like within the first 4 hours. And it's what gives them the strength to get up on their feet. Well, while I was gone to get it, my wife and them called back and said, hey, she's up on her feet, she's running around, and she's drinking, you know, from her mama. So evidently she'd already had her initial drink before we saw it be born. But we'd been out there a couple hours before, and she wasn't there. And then, of course, a couple hours later, my neighbor called and said, hey, we got a new baby. So I rushed down there, and she's just laying in the hay, not moving. It was pouring down rain, lightning, and she was resting. She'd already had her initial eating. So I went and bought these tires the other day. I see that one's already losing air. Well, I had some rotten tires all around it. And so I just had them put some used tires on these old rims, which that's no problem. I can get it back up. But this is gonna be our chicken tractor. We're gonna run some angle iron off even with, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a 2x down through here, and then I'm gonna run my angle iron in a couple spots on this side, and angle iron a couple spots on this side. That way I can, it'll support a floor. And then I'm gonna try to build enough for about 40 chickens. If they're just gonna sleep in there at night, and I'm gonna have a auto door that's gonna come open, and that tractor's gonna be over in the pasture. And we'll move it from section to section and let them work the manure down. And we've been bringing in wood chips, just trying to build good dirt for the pastures. This ground out here where we live, it's gumbo mud. It's just nasty clay. It don't like to drain during the winter. It gets hard as a brick during the summer. So we have to work with it and add nutrients and bring in sand, and, rotten mulch, and like a lot of places around our homes and our garden areas and pastures and stuff, we've made the dirt a lot better. Like right around here, around these gates, just since last year, we've added so much good nutrition, wood chips, manure. I burned a bunch of firewood and had a lot of ash. And I feel like all this will come up green. I just got to get them away from here so it can grow. We're getting ready to move them down there in about a week. We're gonna let this heal for a while, but right now it's just been easy because got the baby up here, and we could put them out there in that area already if it wasn't for a fence that a couple of them keep getting out of. And that's the other thing that happened that I didn't tell y'all about. That first Sunday after I couldn't move, one of the red mamas decided she'd break out of the pasture. And my little old 150-pound wife, there's a good picture of the baby, or a good video of Stormy. Maybe y'all can see her there. Yeah, anyway, that Sunday, my poor old wife, she was sitting in the man cave watching TV. I was in the living room watching TV. It's Sunday, you know, she'd been to church. I was basically couch bound, just relaxing. She had to be at work the next morning. I get a phone call. Hey John, that one of y'all's red cows is out up by the highway. I couldn't help her. All she had was Asher. And she had to go and fight that cow, and it wasn't easy. It drug her through briars and had her all cut up and sweating, and tore a flip-flop, but she should have wore boots. But when you get a phone call, you just rush out the door. Anyway, she got the cow finally back, her and a neighbor. But when she come back home that evening, she was mad. She's like, I want to sell the cows. And of course I told her, I said, hey, I'm just down for a little bit. I'll be back. I mean, I'm you know, it'll get better. Nope, I want to sell the cows. I was like, I understand you want to sell the cows, but we'll talk about it later. And of course, once she calmed down, and once I got back better, and especially once that baby was born, she didn't want to sell the cows no more. She just, I understand she's upset, and that cow was, she said it was jumping 4 foot off the ground like it was going to jump on her, and, you know, jerking her through because she had a harness on her, trying to, you know, steer her back this way. And of course, 700 pounds versus 150, you ain't gonna win. And finally a neighbor helped, and they got her back in, but it all worked out. But we've had a rough 2 weeks. That's our little catch up with y'all. I'm fixing to do a couple of projects that I'm gonna put on camera. I got a real nice 100-foot hose reel from Vevor. I bought it. It ain't sponsored, but I'm gonna install it on camera, and then of course we're gonna get that chicken tractor and drag it up here so we can weld the angle iron on it and start building on it. We'll film it. Anyway, I'll just start trying to get some more cameras out. Anyway, thank y'all. You have a good day.